And welcome to Washington Unplugged. I'm Bill Plante. The world watched today as disaster struck Haiti, the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Humanitarian efforts are already underway to relieve the country, in which thousands may be dead. There's a report today that the U.S. aircraft carrier Carl Vinson, which was doing training exercises at sea, is on the way to Haiti. They'll be joining many troops on helicopters who will be able to do rescue missions. They'll join the ship. There's a brigade of Army troops standing by. The problem right now is that they don't know exactly the extent of the problem on the ground or how to get people and material in to fix it. The effort is ongoing, and our man Fernando Suarez spoke this morning with Tracy Rines of the American Red Cross here in Washington, D.C.
So tell me a little bit about, this is a horrible disaster. It's being called extremely severe and unimaginable catastrophes. What is the Red Cross doing right now to sort of help out in this situation?
Right now, we've mobilized people that we have based in Panama and also in the U.S. and in the region. Currently, we have somebody on an aerial assessment, on a helicopter doing an aerial assessment of Haiti, primarily to take a look at the roads, what access is available, ports, how we can move supplies and people once we have them in place to move. In addition, the Haiti Red Cross is getting their staff and volunteers together. They've provided triage assistance, emergency first aid, as well as distributed all the stocks that they had pre-positioned in Haiti for an event such as this or a hurricane or other events.
When a catastrophe like this happens in another country, you don't just waltz in there and try to help, right? I mean, what's the process like?
Right. Haiti is a very vulnerable country, and they do need assistance. It's very obvious they've been making pleas for assistance all through the media all night. There's no question they need international help. The question is, how do we do that in the most coordinated and efficient way so that we are not overwhelming an already overwhelming situation? The International Red Cross has a system set up specifically to do that. So we coordinate at a global level, also at a regional level. So we put out requests within our system to mobilize teams for IT telecoms to set up communication systems, logistics systems to set up air bridges, ports, moving equipment and supplies in country. We have what we call a relief team that goes in and sets up emergency shelter and household items as necessary. We also have water and sanitation, and very importantly, a basic healthcare unit, a basic hospital to be set up. All of those teams and people and equipment have been mobilized over the last 24 hours and are en route to Haiti as we speak.
Any plans to send the big Red Cross hospital vessel down there, the ship down there?
Well, we have various resources. Primarily right now it's going to be light hospitals that can move around and be mobile within a country. We're not completely sure of all the needs. It's a really tight balance of sending everything and sending the right thing. So it's something that we've had 100 years experience doing. We're well placed to do it, but we are certainly mobilizing tremendous resources at the moment.
Government buildings have been knocked down, schools have been knocked down. I saw that the initial pledge by the Red Cross was like $200,000.
Right.
Some people might think that's a little low.
Right.
Why that figure?
Well, it's actually now up to $1 million.
Okay.
We've had very generous support already from our public. We've released monies that we had on hand that we can release without donor contribution. So we already are releasing $1 million at this point. We're in contact every sort of hour with, again, the coordination bodies to see what's needed, what's the best way to get money out there. It's very clear that whatever the American Red Cross can do and the International Red Cross can do financially, we will. I can say one more point is that the International Federation has asked preliminarily for $5 million. Again, these are very early figures. They will certainly rise.
Some of the challenges you guys have to face is when disasters like this happen in developing countries like Haiti, how much worse is it?
How much worse is it being in Haiti?
Well, how much worse is a disaster like this in some place like Haiti? Is it, infrastructure-wise?
Right. A disaster by definition means that the infrastructure is damaged. If you're starting, or damaged or destroyed. If you're starting with an infrastructure that is already damaged or destroyed, which Haiti is the poorest country in the hemisphere, it also had a significant hurricane in 2008. So they're starting off in a very vulnerable position. This does not bode well for Haiti, for Port-au-Prince. It's significant. They're calling it the worst event in 100 years. It's very early with these sort of large, claims of what the damage is, but we all know that it's very, very bad.
The Red Cross isn't the only organization there right now. There's a ton of people rushing down. There are different groups. How chaotic is that? Is there some sort of coordination? Is it a bureaucratic nightmare once these organizations all get down there to help?
Well, the best part about the Red Cross movement in general, as we say, is that we have our own coordination bodies set up. So again, we have a body set up in Panama, which is the regional coordination, as well as at a global level in Geneva. We all coordinate together before we leave and arrive, and then once we're in country. So we're working with the ICRC, with the International Red Cross and local Red Cross to try to mitigate that, what could be chaos. It's a very challenging situation to manage the urge to help and assist with also being able to actually provide assistance and not, again, overwhelm something that is already very challenging.
Here in Washington, is this becoming a hub for stuff that's going on down there?
Right, yeah. I mean, we're at American Red Cross headquarters now. We have a disaster operations center. You can see part of that behind me. We have IT.
That's what's going on back
right.
here.
We have IT telecoms equipment. We have ability to video conference. We've actually been using Skype quite a bit with our field staff that are there. We have satellite phones and the like, all sort of hubbed through here. We get together every couple of hours to share information, decide what's next, but it's definitely a hub for what's happening with us, and then our ability to work with the U.S. government and other organizations as well.
Lastly, what can our viewers do? I know some people are probably hoping they can jump on a flight and go down there and help, but that's not really what you guys need right now.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It's you know, the American public has consistently been very, very generous. The best thing that people can do to help is to make financial contributions. If they're interested in helping, it really is a money donation. It is definitely not sending supplies. It's not getting on a plane. It's not doing blood at this point. It really is financial contributions that can be most effectively, efficiently sorted into the needs that we have.
And where can they do that?
They can do that at redcross.org and go directly there and donate to the Red Cross efforts.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Taking the time.
Thank you very much.
The tragedy in Haiti touches us here in a very personal way at the Washington Bureau of CBS News. Several weeks ago, we said goodbye to early show producer Frank Thorpe. He moved to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, to join his wife, who's a humanitarian worker there. And yesterday, she was trapped when their home collapsed. Frank was 100 miles away. He drove overnight to get to her and help dig her out. The early show's Maggie Rodriguez heard his emotional story this morning. Listen.
We were about 100 miles north of Port-au-Prince at the time, and we felt the ground shake, but we just thought it was just a small earthquake. But then we started to hear the news reports that it had hit Port-au-Prince so hard that we jumped straight into the car. It was a 6-hour drive, and by the time that I got here, my wife Jillian was still trapped underneath the rubble of our house.
So you're driving for 6 hours not knowing if your wife is okay?
I don't often get emotional, Maggie, and this was one of those moments where it's hard to describe how I was feeling. And I mean, you know, I wasn't really sure whether or not she was okay or not. I had spoken to her on Skype for about 10 seconds. She said that she was trapped, and that's all that I knew. It was absolutely terrifying.
All right, so you arrive at the house. She is trapped. Describe the conditions.
The house, it's a 3-story house. It's all made of concrete. The entire house has totally collapsed. It's all on the ground level now. And she and one other person who works for the organization, the Haitian Ministries that she works for, were completely trapped underneath about a foot of concrete. And some of the Haitian workers here had broken through the ceiling, and by the time that I got here, she was still trapped, but it was in time that we were able to pull her out.
You yourself started digging. Were you able to speak with her as you were trying to rescue her? And what were the obstacles that you faced in this rescue?
I was able to speak. I jumped into the hole, and I was able to see her wave her hand. I couldn't see her whole body. She was just waving, and I could hear her voice, and it was, I mean, you know, I couldn't hold it together, but all she was saying is just hold it together, just get me out of here. And you know, we had to pull, you know, bricks and wood and doors and metal away for at least an hour before we were able to get her and her coworker out as well.
The news is pretty good. Both Jillian and her coworker were banged up, but we're told that they're okay and won't require any major medical attention. We're going to change the mood here a little bit now and move on to something that CBSNews.com has been covering on an ongoing basis, the series Marijuana Nation, which examines the evolving debate over marijuana legalization. In recent developments, outgoing Governor John Corzine is likely to sign legislation making New Jersey the 14th state to allow chronically ill patients access to medical marijuana. And today, we are joined by comedy legends Cheech and Tommy Chong. Cheech and Chong in town celebrating the Marijuana Policy Project's 15th anniversary gala, and also kicking off their new comedy series, Get It Legal, this Saturday in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, our new show, Get It Legal, that's what we're going to do.
So you are speaking tonight to the Marijuana Policy Project. This is a serious organization devoted to getting marijuana legalized.
Yes.
Are you two stoners the best spokespeople for this?
Well, it's mostly music and sign language, you know. So
Oh, okay.
a universal language.
Yeah, we've been around almost as long as pot has been around. So who better to speak for it than us?
So you're going to be honored tonight.
Yes.
What did you say?
Stoners of the century.
Stoners of the century. You've done a lot in how many movies? 8?
Something like that.
8 movies, 9 comedy
We're stoners,
albums.
we can't remember.
A bunch.
Quite a few.
But you certainly identify with it. But,
Yes.
But okay, the Marijuana Policy Project is doing something they consider very serious, trying to get pot legalized, particularly for medical use.
Well, they're the ones that are responsible for the initiatives being on the ballot and for getting us where we're at today with the legalization for chronically ill people. The truth is, marijuana really is a medicine, and it's been a medicine for 5,000 years. In China, in Mexico, Cheech was telling me that, was it your grandmother that used a salve that for ailments?
Yeah. She would boil it and make a salve, like for rheumatism and muscle arthritis, and to get stoned too.
Yeah. Well, and alcohol's a medicine too. I mean, you put alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you drink red wine, you'll lose the risk of heart attacks.
But of course, the argument that the Marijuana Policy Project makes is it's important to change these policies so people can use it not just for medical purposes, but for recreational purposes.
Well, recreation is a medical. When you look at, say, during the war times, when the troops, they had to have their recreational time. You couldn't just they couldn't just be fighting.
Yeah, but
they had to have their
weed.
They had their R&R. Well,
they didn't have the choice.
In Vietnam, they did.
Yeah,
they got it themselves.
At least the last 3 generations, their preferred intoxicant is marijuana rather than beer. I think we should have a referendum: beer or weed. You
have to choose.
See which way they'll vote, huh?
You have to choose.
or beer and weed party. See, there the.
But you can see, from the people, the history of the people that are using it. Very highly evolved people on this planet use marijuana, and they use it regularly. For instance, one of the greatest athletes in the world, Michael Phelps. He obviously he got
took
caught.
A lot of heat for that ball.
Well, sure he did, but it's unnecessary heat. It's stupid heat. Because here's a guy that won drug-free. He won all the events because he was tested like crazy. But yet the only drug that he would use recreationally was marijuana.
So I see here that the Marijuana Policy Project is lobbying Congress to reduce the White House drug czar's budget because they say that he's running deceptive ad campaigns.
They are. They are.
Why?
Well, the deceptive, they're saying, for instance,
they say weed is bad. That's bad.
Well, they're saying, the gateway effect, for instance,
right.
Or kids, they're worried about kids, In the meantime, we got gun laws that are so ridiculous that more kids are dying from gunshots.
Okay, but what would you say
And statistically, by the way, kids have more to fear from priests than they do from marijuana, statistically.
Even so, what would you say to parents who worry legitimately that it could be a gateway drug?
Don't take your kids to church.
Well, to the parents, worry all you want, But I mean, talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Talk to find out really what would you rather have your kid on alcohol or smoking pot.
Or nothing.
You can quit pot. Pot is not addicting, by the way. That's why so many people
in
the government
years and nothing.
Yeah, so many people in the government.
Nothing what?
Yeah, nothing. No addiction.
But so many people in the government themselves, and that are on the opposite side, had smoked pot. And you talk to a lot of lawyers and they say, oh yeah, I tried it. I used to smoke pot. I don't do it anymore. And I don't want my kids doing it. Well, how come if it was good enough for you years ago, why isn't it good enough for your kids to have the same chance that you had? You know?
So if it were legalized beyond medical usage,
Yes.
It'd probably be regulated the way alcohol is regulated.
Exactly. I mean, we need a new tax source, tax base. California has a bill pending before the legislature right now to do exactly that. And we'll see where it gets us. I mean, 50% of all people in prisons right now in the United States are there for drugs. Such a drain on the economy and such a drain on our budget that, and that's not even counting interdiction or trying to track these people down. And that money could be used for much better resources such as education.
Look, you guys know, even though this is the internet that we're on right now,
oh, is it?
you know that somebody.
I'm getting all serious for the internet.
You know that somebody out there is going to see this and say, you know, why did you allow these people on to talk about this? You know.
Well, because this is America. You know, one thing about America, we do have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know? I went to jail, by the way, for selling a bong
on the internet,
a water pipe that was shipped across the state line. I went to jail for 9 months. Yeah. Thanks to Bush's government, you know, Ashcroft and Mary Beth Buchanan. They put me in jail for the offense of selling a water pipe.
Because it was what,
because I was because paraphernalia.
It was the Hayman Act.
Yeah, they said in my indictment they said that I'd made millions of dollars making movies like Up in Smoke. Therefore, I should go to jail. Now, how American is that?
I don't have a ready response to that.
That's good.
What are you going to do on the tour? I mean, what more can you guys say to get laughs about being stoned?
Jeez, I don't know.
We're going back to our we're going back to our old. We're going to be doing the Santa Claus and his old lady. Yeah. We're going to be doing a lot of bits we've never done live.
Before on stage, before live, and a lot of music. You know, we're musicians at heart,
right.
So we're going to do a lot more of that. We have this big catalog that all we have to do is go back and let's try this one out and
all the different characters.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really good show, and what we want the people to realize is that the more people that come to our show, the more of a statement they're going to make to help get pot legal. Yeah. And so if we get millions of people coming to our show, the press alone will just explode this whole marijuana thing, and we'll have it legal.
It's like ratification right now. I mean, we have 14 states in the Confederation, and we're looking for the rest of them to come and join up.
You figure you'll eventually get a majority?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. It's quasi-legal now. You know, it's like immigration. Immigration for Mexicans is quasi-legal. They come in and we'll chase you down when we want you to get out, but come on back, but we'll chase you down. But, you know, but it's that quasi-status, and the same thing with marijuana. I mean, you can walk down the street of any major city and smoke a joint and not get hassled unless they want to hassle you.
And remember,
they still can.
They still can. He said that's what we want to eliminate.
Marijuana is the reason that the economy still hasn't really totally tanked. Because it's the
biggest cash crop in California.
It's the number one cash crop in the world.
It's the biggest. I was doing a movie there some time ago, and the day I got there, the headline of the Vancouver Sun was "Pot, BC's biggest industry, bigger than lumber, bigger than cattle, bigger than any other thing they have."
It's the number one cash crop in the world.
And we're letting the Canadians get all the money. Come on, Canadians.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Cheech and Tommy Chong, thank you very much for being with us.
Well, thank you.
It was our pleasure.
And can we leave you a joint?
Probably not, at least not on the record.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for watching Washington Unplugged. Please join us again tomorrow on CBSNews.com. Meanwhile, our thoughts and prayers do go out to the victims and families of that tragic earthquake in Haiti. I'm Bill Plante.